My dad and I are trying to win the Serie A before each other. However, we are leaving all the ins and outs of our transfers to our director of football, outside of one spin of the transfer wheel at the end of each season. And after both being promoted in season number 1, we have survived our first year in the Serie A. My last spin of the wheel was to find a transfer target for my director of football to approach, and I think I found the perfect player from relegated Parma. I just gotta hope that he can get the deal over the line for me and improve my midfield. Dad had the luxury, though, of spinning to make his own bid for a chosen player, and he's gone for the Ukrainian defensive midfielder from Dynamo Kiev for £9.4 million. Massimo, my director of football, has put the very important bid in for Burnaby, and I can breathe a sigh of relief to see that the signing can be completed very soon after, which Dad also got done with Brashko as well. And so here comes the fun part again, and we agonisingly make our way through the summer, watching our director of football sometimes do nothing, sometimes bid for players we wouldn't ever bid for ourselves, and sometimes get excited when a talented player is approached. So before we see which players they managed to get over the line, Dad and I played each other in the first game of the season in Barry in a very one-sided contest, in a match that Dad will most definitely want to forget in the near future. Well, Dad, a great start to the season, if you're a Barry fan. Beaten 4-0. What a result. What a result. So, I mean, we've had very busy transfer windows again, our second season in the Serie A. And, of course, at the end of last season, when we spun the wheel, you were allowed to sign whoever you wanted. I had to add as a transfer target. You got that deal done, £9.25 million.
Yeah, on a young defensive midfielder. So, he looks quite good. So, I'm quite pleased to get him in. Hopefully, he can do the business for me.
Yeah, okay. Agustin Alvarez obviously was the signing that you had on loan from last season. He has now joined permanently for 1.6. Couple of crap signings came in. In fact, a lot of bad signings came in. Then you got Prograncic from Fiorentina only on loan, but there is an option, I think. I know, it's avoiding relegation from the Serie A. You then have to buy him, by the looks of it, for £1.8 million. So, I mean, he's a good player, though. And he's only 27.
Yeah, I'll take him. I'm quite happy to pay the 1.8 million or whatever it was.
1.6, yeah. For the Croatian centre-back. He's not bad at all. But there's other players who came in again on loan. There was loan fees. Bernardeschi came in from Bologna. I don't know why you're shaking your head.
31-year-old on loan.
Man, some of the crap that you buy. Then we've got Trelawski, who is again only on loan. Polish goalkeeper. He looks very peeved, doesn't he? So he is a permanent signing.
He's got a big beef, doesn't he? Because he's coming in knowing he ain't going to get a place in the team.
Yeah, he's got
Alva, good goalkeeper.
Loan to be bought permanently. Then we've got a couple of, again, free transfers who you're never going to use, to be honest. I mean, they are terrible players. Finally ending with Romain Perrault, who is a left-back. Again, another left-back. But a decent one, though.
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, he plays all the way up the left.
Won't get injuries, man. I dare say I'll be able to use him.
Yeah, for sure. And to be honest, 500k loan fee, not bad. That's not bad at all. But there was other transfers that kind of was going through the ringer all the way up until that final day, including players going out as well, which never actually happened. Only going out, there was 220k.
I just didn't get, the director of football didn't get rid of enough players to allow me to play the players that he was signing for me.
Yeah, Marco Tullio has come in, non-EU player, and cannot be registered until another non-EU player is sold.
Well, they've got to be sold abroad, if I remember.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
So the director of football has not done that, and unfortunately, you're stuck with a player being brought in who
stuck
cannot
with
be
5
played.
players, I believe.
Well, that's just unregistered, but I meant because of the non-EU. You've got players that are unregistered, which you're never going to play anyway because they're not that good. But the main one is that one, and the reason why you can't register him is because of the non-EU rule. So tactically then, you switch things up. You've gone for this weird, I don't know what you call that, but...
Well, I was hoping my right back's going to go bombing down the right because I've changed the winger and brought him inside as an attacking midfielder. The options I had left over was probably the best player to put in that sort of position, really. So that's what I've gone for, just to mix it up a little bit.
Okay, well, there is your best 11. Not locking any players in for this season. Let's have a look. Other than the game that you lost against me, you beat Girona and you beat Lazio.
Yeah, I got hammered by you, and I go away have a good result against Lazio and beat them.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So far, you're 9th in the table. Let's have a look at this Barry side then. Of course, I was able to add a player to my transfer targets. I went straight in for Adrian Burnaby, who is playing for relegated Parma. I'm very happy that they managed to get the deal done straight away. He had a relegation release clause, which is another reason why I went for it, because I knew the transfer bid would just be straight out accepted. As long as he put in for that.
Yeah.
It would be absolutely fine. He's got 3 assists in 3 games already as well. He started off the season very well, which is the same amount of assists he got all season last year, which is mental, isn't it? If he gets 1 goal in the next 33 games, he'll be better, or he would have bested what he got last season. But here we go. I think he's a great player. 24 years of age, left-footed, which obviously helps when you're playing sort of like 2 in midfield for 1 to be on the left side. Can play centre mid naturally or defensive midfield naturally, so he gives me options as well, which I kind of like, because I am thinking about soon changing my formation, but I haven't done it just yet. I'm going to see how this season plays out first, because he also signed Idrissa Gueye. 35 years of age, obviously played for Everton, PSG, even Aston Villa as well. Very good player. At the end of his career, though, he's 35 years of age. His pace and acceleration has gone down, but he's still got good natural fitness, still a very good ball destroyer type of player with that 18 tackling and good work rate. So overall, a good signing on a free transfer. Again, though, more free transfers, which mean absolutely nothing to us. I mean, Bodin is actually not too bad. He might be starting games this season. He's actually started the first 3. Danny Da Costa, former Frankfurt right back, has joined the club as well, 32 years of age. Then we've also got Andy Delors, another free transfer, who is a good backup striker, because of course I lost a striker a couple of seasons ago. We've only replaced it with 1, so Delors comes in. Then there was a big signing of Tommaso Barbieri, who £4.2 million, my director of football decided to go for another right back, and he has actually been starting the game, so poor Danny Da Costa has not. Good luck, Angel.
Oh,
what a name. Great name there for the Nigerian. Good luck, Angel, 19 years of age. Good luck, because you probably won't be getting many games. No. Same as Goodman's son as well, who comes in for peanuts. Probably won't be playing. Neither will this guy. And then finally we've got Kevin Benkic, who came in for quite a lot of money. He's just going to be a backup left back. I can't see him getting many games either. So as I mentioned, tactically, again, we're keeping the same shape. I've made a couple of tweaks because I've put an inverted wing back on attack, because Dorval, of course, is right-footed, and then he got himself injured. Great. So I'm hoping that he can bomb through that sort of gap that will be left there, where Idrissa Gueye is probably not going to go forward as much as the previous ones, and sort of underlap on Draker, who is going to be on that left-hand side. So we'll see how they do with that, because he did very well against Dad, of course. But that is the only game that I've played well in so far. That was, of course, my first game of the season. I also played Lazio away from home. Got a nice draw. That's where Dorval was, in fact, injured. And then we lost to AC Milan away from home, but only 2-1.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad at all, really. So I'm quite happy with that. Difficult season, I think this is going to be, because we had the buzz of going up last season. Have we really improved our side? I mean, they still rank me down in 18th place there. The promoted sides, Udinese, Cagliari and Salernitana, are usually clubs in the Serie A. So it's not like we've got any easy whipping boy clubs in the league this year, I don't think. But they give you a nice rating of 12th place, Dad, so you should be safe according to this.
I'll take that, 12.
Yeah, just whether that happens. So let's see how Season 3 plays out with our new transfers. Will there be any January transfers? And of course, can we survive? At least with the fixtures between us out the way, Dad can solely focus on the league table. However, wins are few and far between for Dad, who this season finds himself down near the bottom of the table by New Year. This year seems to be very much the opposite of what last year was, as now I'm sat in 6th place and having a whale of a time. January came along though, and not only were there a lot of transfers, but also another game between us two, in which I scored a 91st minute equaliser to snatch a point. Clearly, the Sampdoria director of football noticed that the club were in crisis mode, and in January purchased Lazar Samardzic from Atalanta in an amazing deal for up to £10 million. Finishing off the transfer window in January, signing 7 more players and bringing in 9 in total that month. My window was a little bit more boring, and the bad news was that the form also started to decline as well. And the arrival of Samardzic wasn't improving Dad's form either, as they actually slipped into the relegation zone with 4 games remaining. Dad's saviour looked to be the Brazilian striker Brenner, who scored 2 goals in a win against his former club and another to tie against Como. But was it enough to survive the drop? Well, that was a close one.
Oh dear. By the skin of my teeth.
On that final day of the season,
hanging on.
A draw to Como stopped it. I think would have gone into a relegation playoff, because in Italy, if you finish in the same position for either first or relegation, I think you play against each other across 2 legs. So you just avoided that. That was a tough one for you.
That team below me as well, they lost on the last day as well. So
it could have been very, very much worse for you. The positive of this is the striker I signed on a free transfer got the golden boot with 20 goals this season. So fair play to him. Yeah, he's done all right. Doesn't look anywhere near as good now because he started to regress. Being that he is 32, a lot of his mental attributes have gone down, and his finishing, I think, has gone down as well, which... yeah, might need a new striker, despite him scoring 20 goals this season. But yeah, I thought it would be harder this season. I didn't realise one of us would be scrapping for relegation. So, I mean, past positions tells a story, because for a while, I was up there. I was in 5th place all the way up until January, mid-January, until I fell off a cliff into 14th place. So that's really disappointing. Whereas you just sort of like stayed around that bottom 4-5, even dipped into it for a couple of weeks to pull yourself back out. So that was a close one. January, there was a few moves that were made, nobody significant. You got Bryce Wembangomo for £1.5 million, which is a very pacey fullback on both sides. But yeah, nobody of note. And then there's just a lot of players coming in, of course, which was loaned to buys. And then we got Pajaro, who's in there, and Chidira, who another striker. But nobody that you're shaking your head, because I know there's nobody that you would want to buy. You've got £20 million though.
Yeah.
So it's a good amount. We just need to start selling players.
That's the problem. My squad is so big now, and if he doesn't sell any players, I'll struggle to bring players in.
So many players, because I've got exactly the same problem as you.
Today now. I'll be raising about another 50 million now.
Yeah,
comfortably, won't I?
Well, I don't think your players are worth that much, Dad. I'll be honest.
No, true.
Yeah, I've got the same problem really. My team is very bloated. But I've only got £10 million to spend, so I haven't really got that much money. And if obviously we spin the wheel and I decide to go big on one player, then I'm not really leaving a lot for my director of football, who's still Massimo Taibbi, by the way, to do this summer. So I think we need to spin the wheel, see what we're going to be planning on doing, and then we can sort of strategize from there forward. All right, Dad, you get the honours of the first spin for season number 4.
Be good.
And it's going to be, you're lucky, 1 free transfer that you can pick up. So you can...
a good season in the 4th season as well.
Yeah, you can approach, obviously, players who are running out of contract, wait until players have already been out of contract. Either way, you can't spend a penny to sign somebody. But who or what am I going to get? Just one of the other 3 would be fantastic. Just of... Oh dear! I am the first person to get or director of football, which means hands off from me. I literally cannot do anything other than change the tactic before we start the next season. So, I mean, there's not really much point in me looking at my team. I might just set up a new tactic and hope that he buys players for it, but if he doesn't, then not really much more I can do about that. So, yeah, going to be an interesting summer for Dad, picking out his 1 free transfer, whereas I might as well just go on holiday until we get to mid-July and before I start taking training again. Dad's search for a free transfer didn't take too long. He found a fantastic young left-back at Paderborn that he can approach to sign on a free transfer, and got a deal negotiated with the young German. And he signed almost immediately, leaving all of our transfer business for this summer complete. Unfortunately for both Dad and I, it was not that exciting for a transfer window, and both Director of Footballs chose to sign a lot of free transfers only and ignore the transfer budgets. With that in mind, I decided to really switch things up and go to a 3 at the back system and try and stay more defensive this season, while Dad was also changing things around, something a little bit more familiar to him. Right, Dad, I'm a little worried because they haven't really bought me in many players that are going to do anything for my first team.
All, is it?
No. So we got a couple of players. We got Matondo coming in, who's just a bit of a winger that I might use. Almami Toure, another right back, which, yeah, great. That's just what we needed. Other than that, I mean, it's all terrible. Ali Sly, yeah, we ain't using these players. A few players went out on loan, but we're still not selling anyone. And that's the trouble. We're not selling anybody. In the last, 3 seasons, nobody has gone out for any transfer fee for me, which is really frustrating because we do have 100% of the transfer revenue of any players that do come in. So tactically, I've decided to switch it around a little bit. I'm going to try a 3 at the back this season and see how we play it, because you didn't buy me a new striker, so I needed to find a 1-striker formation, and we've got a lot of centre backs or players who can play centre back, so I thought, well, we'll just go for it at the back and we'll see if that makes much of a difference. But if we don't exactly have the best midfielder to go alongside Burnaby, who, yeah, he's really good, but to be honest, I don't know why he isn't like that. That would be more suited for us. Obviously, we just brought in Matondo, so we had a right winger which we could use, and Rodrigo Muniz up front hopefully can still score us the goals. It hasn't started very well. We've got 2 goals against Roma in a 2-2 draw, which isn't bad. No. We're out of the cup already, and we lost to AC Milan, who did just win the league.
Yeah.
So that ain't too bad.
You can take that, can you?
Yeah. We got you next, though, on the day that we are checking in. So, I mean, you had £5 million left in your transfer budget, but you did bring in a few players. Obviously, your transfer that you decided to bring in,
yeah,
Zenta, who's very good left back.
Yeah, my left back was moving on. Decided that he didn't want to stay, so I had to get a left back in quite quick, which I didn't really want to do, but I never had no choice. Never had a decent left back, so I thought I'll get one in, and this guy sort of fits the bill, really, for me.
Yeah, he's decent. And he's young as well, so with potential.
So I've decided that after last season, I decided to change tactics. Mine's a mirror image of yours, the opposite way around, though, because I've gone 3 up front. You
have, yeah. I mean, you breezed over the rest of the signings. There wasn't many anyway. Daniel Iverson was a goalkeeper that I think might go into your first team, to be honest, and play majority of your games, because he's quite decent. Other than that, I mean, David Eza maybe will get game time this season. 6'2" striker.
Because I'm playing 3 up front, really. Yeah. Injury.
But again, you did sell one player, though. Marco Tullio went to Damac, who was the player who couldn't be registered last season.
Yeah.
Clearly, couldn't be registered this season either. They binned him off. He's gone. Other than that, nobody. So, yeah, tactically, you've gone 3 up front. You're 4-3-3 narrow, with Brenner in there as a DLF. In terms of new players coming in, Pedrola kind of goes from that left wing up front, which isn't too bad, really. No. He isn't that bad up front. But we did miss, by the way, Samardzic. We didn't highlight him at the end of last season. He came in January, and he could be game-changing for you, really. Well,
to be honest with you, he come in and he played 16 games last season. So he would have just sort of saved my bacon at the end of the season, really, to be honest with you. So when I see him there, I was quite pleased at that, because that's sort of my midfield very strong now.
Yeah, he's excellent. He's easily now your best player by a mile. Yeah. So, he might save you there, because you'll start the season. You've also played Roma. You were away from home and lost to a 93rd minute goal there by Noah Lang, but you did beat Monza.
Yeah.
Which is a good start. You need to beat those clubs around you, so that's a good start for you. But yeah, in the season preview still sticks me down in the relegation zone, but puts you in 12th. So this is the trouble. We're not making our own signings, which means we aren't getting better players coming in. Well, you had a chance. You had a free signing, but I didn't get to do anything, and I think it's going to be a tough old year for us both in the Serie A. Right away then, we jump into a game at Dad's Stadium between us where my Barry side take the lead in the first half, only to double it right on the stroke of half time. The game stayed 2-0 until the hour mark where Dad's striker found time and space to hit the back of the net. However, the final goal came with just 10 minutes left on the clock, and Dad's defence gave my striker too much space and he punished them. This was another sign of things to come. After 16 games going into January, Dad was once again battling for relegation with Lazio of all clubs, while I was sat in the European spots. January came and Dad's director of football was selling one of his centre-backs for £6 million as well as a couple of fringe players, while bringing in a new gen from Belgium who looked to have a lot of talent at such a young age. Doesn't look like he has decided to replace the defender that he sold though. There was no outgoing transfers, just loans for me, but also no real incoming ones either, just the loan signing of a winger from Napoli. January also provided the other fixture between the two of us, where this time I wasn't too happy with the performance despite Muniz equalising in the first half. That side put off a cracking 3-1 win, which was part of the monumental implosion. Our form got so bad that we haven't won a single game of football since last year, and lucky our first half of the season was so good as we even slipped behind Dad. In fact, the only game we won in the second half of the season was on the final match day. Well, it wasn't as close as yours last season, but I'm in the same position of 17th. And you're only 4 points ahead of me in 15th, which, to be fair, that's where the season preview put me, in 17th. I think you're in 12th, so
12th,
yeah, your rivals are in 12th. You've dropped off into 15th place. Very tricky year.
All I can say is that it was a better year than last year, so I've improved.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of the January transfers, there were a couple for us. They were all just free transfers, though. There's nobody coming in that's really making a difference to this Barry side. And then we had a loan signing there for Faras, who, I mean, he played 16 games, got 2 goals. Quite good. But 2 goals, 5 assists. Not a very good average rating, though. And that's the trouble. So only a loan signing. Doesn't look like we're going to be getting him on a permanent or anytime soon. So yeah, he's already gone back to Napoli, unfortunately. Won't be using him going forward. Transfer budget, I've got £6 million, which that's getting worse. But who can blame him when I'm not doing anything? Yeah. 9 goals. I didn't even get a player that got double figures. Which is poor. The good thing is Rodrigo Muniz is young enough that we can keep using him should we keep him, and just find a system that might work with him. We still got Bernabe as well, who, hopefully we can find a system which was really good for both of them. And yourself, Dad, I mean, the January transfer, he loves doing deadline day deals for you. He had a couple that came in there. They're all free transfers though, unfortunately, and nobody who's like really good. Mukasa isn't too bad, but didn't exactly start many games. But then you got Ingvarsson, who I remember quite well as a striker. So another striker coming in. Anthony Bonney, who's £1 million. We've got our first new gen. And he doesn't look too bad, to be honest. If I can't speak for you, but I would be looking to lock him in next season and see what he develops into, because he looks quite good, to be fair.
Yeah. Just
those physical attributes, but you can always train that and it won't be... Yeah, it wouldn't be as bad. A couple of players here there's one from South Africa who isn't too bad value for money-wise. Another one there, Spanish player potentially, Colombian. So again, not too bad really. But, I mean, the players that are coming in, we're not looking at them going, game changers. Again, you've had a couple of players who were sold in January, which makes a change. And even one going out there for £5 million, whereas... I don't think my Massimo Taibbi believes in selling players at all. We didn't sell anybody. I think I'm going to give Massimo another season. One more season. Because this is the first bad season. I was happy with last season. I think last season was quite good. With the likes of Idrissa Gueye and Danny DaCosta, Barbieri. There was a couple of good signings in there. So I think I need to give him another season.
Not really, no. He's getting me a lot of players that I'm not using. He's not selling enough players, so I might just change mine.
Ooh, okay.
I'll have a sort of sniff around and see what's around, but at the moment he's on a very thin line, I think.
All right. Okay, well, that's this season done. Your players, you had Pedrola with your top scorer, who was winger, got 14 goals. Samardzic, the centre midfielder, got 10. You were playing free up front, and Samardzic is getting the second top scorer.
Yeah, not good at all.
No. So something needs to be addressed there as well. But first, we've got to head to the spinning wheel to decide whether we're making any transfers ourselves this summer, or is it all down to the director of football. All right, it's my go first this time round.
Yeah.
Anything but what I had last time I'd be happy with, because that was such a shame. We're going past that. That's good. It's a free transfer.
You done well last time with a free transfer.
I did do all right with the free transfer. That wasn't too bad, the free transfer. The striker, he did very well for me throughout that one season. Kind of dropped off a cliff after that, but that's fine. It's a signing nonetheless, and that's what I'm pleased with. What are you going to get, though? Are you going to suffer the same fate as what I did in season number 4? No, we've both got a free transfer to pick up.
Happy with that.
Yeah, in season number 5. So if you want to make sure you catch what free transfer we do make sure you are subscribed, because season 5 and 6 will be out very soon.